Hey guys, it's Hannah and this is my husband Trevor, and we are doing our yearly book awards. So we are doing our 2018 book awards. This tag or video idea was originally come up with Kayla over at Bookadoodles, so I will leave a link down to her channel, and I will also leave a link to our 2017 book awards. We love this video, and we just have a lot of fun filming it and rewatching it and watching everybody else's too, so that is what we are going to be doing for today's video. And we also don't usually tell each other answers for ours, so this will be a surprise. So,
well, this year I probably didn't bring great shame upon you like last year with the Runaways.
Yep. So let's just get into the video. So the first one that we are going to talk about is our 2018 favorite book of the year, and this one I read at the it was in between 2017 and 2018, and I feel like I've been talking about this book for so much longer than just a year because I've been obsessed with it, and I was really excited that I went back and I finished on January 12th, and that I can include it in this year. So that is Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco. I absolutely adore this series. So the first book in this series is Stalking Jack the Ripper. This is the second book. This is by far the best book in the series so far. It is a 4-part saga and cannot wait until the last one, but I absolutely was in love with this book, and for so many different reasons. I even have a reading vlog titled Reading My Favorite Book of the Year, and it was back during Christmas, and I actually read you bits of the book. It's no spoilers, but just really good sayings. And Carrie Maniscalco, the way she writes is so incredible because she works in such poignant things that are still relevant in today's time, but it takes place in the 1800s. It's fantastic. If you haven't checked out the series, do it. It's not too scary, so if you are hesitant on picking it up because of that, it's not scary. It's just more of thriller-esque.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I absolutely love it, and obviously 5 out of 5 stars for Hunting Prince Dracula since it's my favorite book of the year.
It was your favorite book? Why didn't you say anything once or twice a day for the entire year?
So what is your favorite book of the year?
My favorite book, I was informed I couldn't do rereads, so I had it narrowed down to 5, and I eventually settled on Illuminae. The Illuminae series, the audiobooks sold me on it, and then just the writing style, how it's all redacted files and stuff like that, plus the full cast on the audio book with all the sound effects and sirens, guns blazing, explosions. It's awesome.
Agreed. It's a really good book. Question number 2 is favorite standalone, and I don't really know if this counts because it's nonfiction, but I'm choosing it, and that is Girl Logic by Elijah Schlesinger. She is an incredible comedian. I really highly recommend checking out An Elder Millennial on Netflix. It's one of her best, I think it's probably her best,
it's pretty funny.
What is it,
Comedy show?
Yeah, well, it is a comedy show, but her best Netflix special, and it's incredible. This is all about girl logic and how girls overthink things and have to work out 50 different scenarios, and men are not like that, and how that affects us in day-to-day life and relationships and workplaces.
It's like she's met you.
And it's so good and hilarious, and it's read by her, so I highly recommend the audiobook as well, and it's really good. I really, really recommend, if you want a light nonfiction read and you wanted to dabble into nonfiction, I recommend checking out comedians. I really want to get into more comedian books because I really enjoy them, and they're just fast and fun, and I really enjoy them.
For me, this was really easy because I read one standalone. Artemis. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was entertaining. It kept me amused for a while. It's about a colony on the moon, and the main character is a smuggler, and she gets involved in something way over her head, and it's her antics and shenanigans. It's read by Rosario Dawson, so that was pretty cool. She's from Daredevil and Luke Cage and all that. She's the nurse. Still pretty cool, but didn't blow me away.
So question number 3 is least favorite book, and I always find this one to be the most entertaining. And this is one that I DNF'd and could not stand. So Scarlett Epstein Hates It Here. Not worth my time. There was nothing good about this except for the stoner grandma in this. That was the only highlight that was funny. It was very immature and boring. Nothing really happened. I DNF'd it, I think, like, I got to 100 pages because I remember having a conversation with Gabby saying, like, you at least got to 100 pages, so you gave it a good shot, because it's not that big of a book. It's only 280. So I was like, I only have 180 pages left for it to redeem itself, and I'm not interested. So I ended up DNFing. I couldn't even tell you what it was about because nothing really happened. All I remember is the characters and the weird dynamics of the characters, and I only liked the grandma, and she wasn't in it that much. I didn't like the mother-daughter relationship and the way she treated her mom, and yeah, I was not a fan. So Scarlett Epstein Hates It Here is...
Also, Hannah hates it here.
Yeah.
My least favorite book, it's not that I disliked it, it's just the lowest rating I gave to a book on Goodreads. Looks familiar, doesn't it? Like I said, Artemis, it was good. It didn't blow me out of the water. Wasn't anything special. Like, I read plenty of fantastic books, and this just didn't live up to those. So, it's not that I didn't like it. I did. It just wasn't that great.
Oh, I totally forgot my other least favorite one.
Which was?
You pay me Rose.
Oh, you're making me get up.
So, my other least favorite read of the year is unfortunately one that Trevor got me. And that is Rose Volume 1. Now, even I thought this looked cool, so it's not like a slight on you.
Uh-huh.
This really did look cool, and it, like, badass female with a cat as her sidekick that's a telepathic cat. It looked...
I know, right?
Really cool.
It's you if you were a superhero.
It was not good. This tied for Scarlett Epstein Hates It Here. I didn't DNF it because it's just so short that I just ended up finishing it. But I really disliked how over-sexualized the characters were. The female villains were over-sexualized to a point where literally, this may be inappropriate for small viewers because of how ridiculous it is. This is how over-sexualized the villain is in this for no reason. Like, there was no, like, everybody else was fully clothed, but she dressed like that. Like, it didn't make sense in the story whatsoever. It just, like, why? Why? And besides that, the plot point wasn't that good. It kind of jumped all around, and I didn't really know what was going on, so... I didn't really enjoy this. Like, they were on the run at some points, and then they just, like, stopped being on the, like, run, and they, like, yeah. It was all over the place, and I didn't care for it. Which is very unfortunate because I liked the art style, I liked the psychic link between the cat, I liked all that part, but it just went downhill real fast. Number 4 is Shortest Read of the Year, and I actually don't have this one here because I got it from the library, but I will hold up this one. So it's Giant Days Volume 7. This is actually Volume 8. And Giant Days Volume 7 was 112 pages, so that's my shortest read of the year.
Mine was Saga Volume 7. Apparently it's only 70 pages. I thought it was more, but Goodreads doesn't lie.
Number 5 is Longest Book of the Year, or Longest Read of the Year. Mine was definitely Kingdom of Ash. This is 980 pages of greatness, and this is definitely my longest.
Nope.
Yeah.
My longest is Oathbringer. I actually read this 2, maybe 3 times this year. It was great. So, it's 1,248 pages, so, you know, kicks that right out of the water, lengthwise.
Barely, though. Only a couple hundred pages. What are you gonna read now? Is Brandon Sanderson coming up with another long one? Maybe this will be my year to beat him.
I honestly don't know what he's working on this year. Next Stormlight's not supposed to come out until 2020. He wants to do one every 2 years.
Are you gonna survive? That's a no. Number 6 is Most Disappointing Ending, and I actually don't have this here. Thankfully, I got it I got it from the library as an audiobook. I will pop a picture up here. It is Love Life in the List, and I really dislike this. So the premise was really good. The premise is that she was an artist and she wanted more life experience so her art can grow. So she made a list that she wanted to complete in 2000, you know, like whatever the year. It was very reminiscent to like New Year's resolution-ish, but it wasn't around New Year's resolution. But it was, she just made a list over the summer that she wanted to do, and she compiled this list with her grandfather who's gone to war and her mom who is like a recluse, and they came up with this list together that she was going to experience more life. And then the end of it was just terrible, and everything, it was good if it would have stayed with that premise, and then it turned into like a romance, and it was all about a boy who did not appreciate her, and then the boy still came out on top, and I was not happy about it. So I really didn't like that ending. That ending was terrible. I liked the premise, but the ending was terrible.
Mine was Assassin's Quest. I really liked the series. Didn't like how it ended. Most of this book was a tremendous build up to, I don't know, maybe the last 60 pages. Everything resolved itself, and it resolved itself really fast. And then something that the main character was working towards the entire 3-book series didn't even happen. He just said to hell with it, and yeah. But the series was pretty good, just everything.
All that for nothing?
Yeah,
I mean, it's very relatable, but I mean,
yeah,
not very fun to read.
It just wrapped up really quickly. I'm pretty sure I already told you what happened.
Yeah. So, number 7 is cliffhanger that broke you the most, and it's not really cliffhanger. Well, it is because the series is still going, but the ending broke us the most. We actually had the same exact answer for this one, which is Saga Volume 9. So, if you've read this, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
All the feels. I think every person I see reading this cries, like on blogs and such. It's so good, but it's definitely was not expecting that.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I saw it and was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, number 8 is favorite new series started, and it's my channel, and I can choose more if I want to, and I choose to not narrow this down. So, I have 4. And so my first one is Illuminate Files. This is an incredible series. I love to recommend this at work, and it's so good. Like, everybody is gonna love it. It's heart-wrenching, and it is exciting and packed full of adventure and danger, and especially if you pair it with the audiobook, it's incredible. And there's different mixed medias. If you've watched any of my channel or any of my videos this year, you know that I've will go on forever about this series. It's so good. Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman are incredible together.
Word.
Cannot wait for their next book to come out. I'm highly anticipating it. And I just absolutely adore this series. It's got to be one of my favorites that I've read in a long time. So, that's one of them. My next 3 are actually graphic novels. So, who's surprised that that's showing up again? Because I am such a fangirl, one, for this series, and it's Marvel. And Rainbow Rowell took over it this year, which is incredible, and I was very excited. I even talked about this in my 2017 book awards, how excited I was. And it did not disappoint. I love it. It's Runaways, and it's Rainbow Rowell who writes Fangirl, and it's so good, and I love it. And I love that she is such a fan too, that she I saw that. And she is such a fan, so she does it such justice, and it's so good. And it's so good. I can't even describe how good it is to you guys. But it is Runaways. If you read the first 2 collections, this one jumps ahead. I think it jumps ahead 5 years into the future, and you kind of see what's happened and what's ended, how they've ended up. And there's an interesting twist on it that I wasn't expecting that wrenched my heart, and I just adore it. And it's so good. So obviously I had to include Runaways. Next up is one that I wasn't actually both of these 2 I wasn't expecting to love as much as I did. So no spoilers for you. So Giant Days, I was not expecting to like this as much as I did because it's a contemporary graphic novel. Not a lot happens, but the more that I read it, the more that it's relaxing, calming, and it's such a curl up with a warm cup of coffee, and it just warms your heart, and it's just fun to spend time with these characters, and I've grown really attached to them, and it's just a really sweet time. This is the only one I have because I've actually decided to buy it now. Luckily, my library has volumes 1 through 7, so I read all those on there. But I really enjoy this, and I think I'm definitely going to start collecting these because they're just so enjoyable, and I would totally read these again. And last one was a recommendation that I was not expecting. You guys know that we are a Marvel household, but we both loved this, and that is Batman Earth 1, and it is incredible. It is so good. The art style, the different storyline that I wasn't expecting, and it is an origin story, but Earth 1 is a different universe. It's so good. If you're looking to get into DC Comics, I recommend starting out with this. I had a DC comic fanatic tell me this is where to start, and I did. I'm so glad I did, because it is incredible, and I absolutely adored 1 and 2, and the wait for the third one is going to be far too long. So I really enjoyed starting this one this year too.
Oh, is it finally my turn?
I'm done now.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
There's still like whole shelves that you haven't gone over yet. We're doing favorite series, right?
Oh yeah.
Hey, I narrowed it down. I didn't pick 5. I could have. Liza Lamora, the humor was fantastic. The wit, I don't get the smug look off your face.
And who recommended this book to you?
I think it was Goodreads.
Who bought this book for you?
I don't know. Someone must have. It's a good thing you're really humble.
Anyway.
But if I was going to choose multiple series, I would have done Leviathan series.
Also, who recommended that book to you?
Red Rising, God's Grave, Skyward.
Anyway.
So,
okay, what's Liza Lamora about?
It's the Gentleman Bastard series. So, they're thieves with morals, and it's pretty entertaining, and they're the Gentleman Bastards, so they have a moral code on who they rip off and how they go about it, and it's really funny, and someone won't read it.
I will get to it this year.
It's checked out on audiobook right now. You even started it.
Okay, but I'm reading something else right now.
That you started after you started this.
Shush. Alright, so number 9 is favorite comic art of the year, and this is actually my award for the 2nd year running now, and that is Snot Girl. This is volume 2, and I don't know how I feel about this graphic novel, but I love the art style. It's literally like, it's so pretty and girly, and it's beautiful. It's very almost like anime-ish, but it's so really pretty, and I really enjoy the art style. By Leslie Hung. It's Brian Lee O'Malley and Leslie Hung, and I really enjoy like the color scheme that they use, and it's just really pretty, and I like it. This is a very interesting type of graphic novel though, because I didn't know what it was going into until the 2nd volume, where it was actually on this volume description on the back. So it literally says contemporary romance and then mystery. So, and then fashion and then comedies.
Alright. So it's a little bit of everything, pretty much.
Yeah, well, and so it's all about a fashion blogger who has really intense allergies, and she, like, has a hard time, like, trying to be perfect in the public eye and have everything together and stuff, and then she, like, deals with all of the stuff behind the scenes. That was the premise of it, and then it turned into, like, a mystery type of thing, so you're reading it and you're like, what the hell is happening? Like, the reader is so confused, and I am very conflicted on whether I'm okay with it or not. I usually like to at least know what what is going on, even if the protagonist doesn't, but you have not a clue. Like, it jumps around, and you're like, what's happening? And people either love this or hate this, and I am right in the middle of it, because I'm like, I don't like not knowing, but I'm too invested now that I want to be like, what the hell am I actually reading, to decide if I like it or not. So I thought volume 2 I was going to figure out if I actually liked it or not. I don't. It's a little more concise than the first one, which I appreciate. Now that I know that it's a mystery, I'm a little more accepting of things. Versus a contemporary, I was like, why don't I know what's going on in their lives? This is the point of the story. So now that I know that it's a mystery, I'm a little more accepting, but I probably still will continue, but it's very strange. It's not for everyone. I will preface that.
Mine is Ruby. This is just like a spin-off of the Rooster Teeth series. It's one of my favorite anime type shows. This is the manga for it. But the art style is really cool. I wish the entire book was in color, because that would be freaking fantastic. But the art style is very, I don't know, badass. I don't know, I just like the art style. It's not like normal comic books, and I don't know, I really like it.
Number 10 is Most Bizarre Read, and I chose The Rest of Us Just Loves Here by Patrick Ness. This was a weird one, and this was one of the first ones that I read in 2018, so I don't remember too much about what's happened, but I do remember that there is, like, so this entire story premise is that there is these chosen ones, like chosen one tropes, and the people who star in this book are all the other ones, the sidekicks, the people that aren't, the story isn't focused on. So we see from a different perspective of the chosen ones happening in their town, and they recognize that they are the chosen one that things are happening to, and they're kind of watching life pass by them and as the normal kids in the story. But the chosen ones, something very traumatic is happening to them, like they're getting murdered. And so they're like shit is happening, like supernatural shit is happening around them, and there's like stuff with glowing deer, and it's very strange, and it's not like something I've read before. It was interesting. I probably wouldn't read it again, but it was just odd. Like, it was such an interesting premise that I never would have thought would have been into a book. But I liked kind of taking a step back and looking at the stories that you normally read from a different perspective. So, if that sounds interesting to you, I would pick it up. Also, this glows in the dark, which is really cool. Like, the little blue ones glow in the dark. Nice. Yeah. So.
Mine is Spider-Man and Deadpool, Itsy Bitsy. This one was really weird.
Freaking weird.
The villain, Itsy Bitsy, likes to call Spider-Man and Deadpool daddy.
It got real sexualized real fast.
It's like Spider Daddy and, was it Dead Daddy or
yeah, Dead Daddy? It was Dead Daddy.
Yeah, it's really kind of creepy. But, like, I love the Spider-Man and Deadpool series, so I had to just push through it just to move on to the next one, and yeah,
it was like funny, weird, but it was mostly weird. So it was like not like terrible to read through. It just was like, well, what is this?
The daddy thing kind of came out of nowhere because like Itsy Bitsy makes her first showing in it, and like at one point they stop to have a conversation. She just out of the blue calls him daddy, and they just are like,
well, it's very like her sexualizing them.
Yeah, I know, but it, like, they didn't think anything of it. They just went along with it and, like, didn't care, and I was like,
no,
really
they even stopped him and was like,
I don't remember, but
yeah, because she's so obsessed with them. But like, this is, if you turn the comic book upside down, it's actually her dangling them. It's weird, really weird. Still good, but it was just weird. It was really odd. Shush.
It's good.
Don't mock me.
Oh, that ship has sailed. You've known me for 9 years now. You should be used to my mockery.
Can't help. Number 11 is Best Audiobook Experience, and we actually have the exact same one because it's so incredible, the whole series. Insert here, you guys probably already know what it is. Illuminate, the whole series, do it on audiobook. It's full of cast of characters, and it is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, the first time I read through it, I listened to Illuminate on audiobook, and then I physically read through Gemini and Obsidio, so I didn't listen to the second and third audiobooks until I started my new job back in November, and then I busted through all three in
so good.
4 days. I think I got through all 3 of them. Yeah, so much better with the full cast, the sound effects, the explosion.
Number 12 is Most Unsettling Read, and that is going to be Saga because of the ending. I don't need to say anymore. It's Saga.
Mine was 5th season. It wasn't that it was like unsettling. It just took a little getting used to the whole second person perspective of the book. The farther in you get, the more it makes sense that those particular chapters are in second person. So without spoilers, I'm not going to go any farther than that. But it's not a style you're used to hearing. I was listening to it on audiobook, so hearing like, you think this, and you do this, you say that. It takes a little getting used to, especially when, like, there's 3 perspectives, and the other ones are, so-and-so does this, like, just normal first person, and then it randomly switches to second person, and it just took a little getting used to, but by the time I finished it, I fully approved, and this series is awesome, so.
Good.
fully intend on continue reading it. And yeah.
Number 13 is favorite cast of characters, and you know that I had to go with Kingdom of Ash. I absolutely adore all of these babies, and I love them, and yes, they are all my babies, and they cannot be hurt, and so I absolutely adore all of these characters, and they will always be forever one of my like favorite groupings of people, so I love this series.
Probably no surprise, my favorite cast of characters is in the Stormlight Archives. Just with books this thick, Brandon Sanderson has plenty of time to go into the backstories of the characters, and each of the 3 books focuses on one specific character. So like this one you get the main backstory to Kaladin, the second one you get the backstory to Shallan, the third one you get the backstory to Dalinar Kholin, they're all different main characters, they all have their own very important roles in the world, and it's interesting to see how their past lives actually interconnected with each other in very subtle ways that they didn't realize at the time.
Number 14 is best thriller, and Trevor doesn't have a thriller. He doesn't really read thrillers, so I don't read that much thrillers either. This is actually like one of the first ones I've ever read, and it is Cheerleaders. I've read 2 I think now for 2018, but this one I enjoyed. I like this one a lot better than People Like Us. This one stars a girl who her sister was all part of a cheerleading squad, and all 5 of them, I believe, all died within months of each other in horrific ways. And so the premise is that the older sister kills herself because all of her friends died in these horrific ways, and she's like, that doesn't really sound like my sister, so she starts digging into it and investigating her sister's death and then the other cheerleaders' deaths, and it is very interesting, and I really like the characters in here, and I don't know, I was really glad that I got into it, and I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, and I really did like it. Number 15 is best relationship and friendship, and of course mine has to go to Audrey Rose and Thomas. So good. I love them so much. I love this like characters in this story, and they're also my babies, and I love them. So of course they have to be my Cresswell has to be my OTP.
Mine is Ruby. They're all gung-ho about friendships, and they do anything for each other, and yeah, there's not really relationships in it, but their friendships are super strong, and they'll go to extreme lengths just for their friends to help them in any way, shape, or form. And Ruby's freaking awesome, so read it.
Yeah.
Watch it, read it, whatever.
Number 16 is best reread of the year, and we reread Harry Potter every year, so of course I have to throw that out there, but we reread that every year. But I really enjoyed reading Vampire Academy, and we also did Bloodlines this year for the Muggle Studies Book Club. We went through all of the books, and that was so much fun, and I really enjoyed revisiting this series, and you guys know that I am trash for Vampire Academy, so I absolutely loved rereading this, especially with my friends on my book club. If you guys want to join, there's a link down below. There's always a link down below for our Muggle Studies Book Club Goodreads page, and we do live shows every month.
My favorite reread, of course, was Oathbringer, so I think I read this twice this year.
And last but not least is our most disappointing book you didn't get to in 2018, and this one I am doing Raven Boys, which we are like the Raven Boys series, which is actually our Muggle Studies Book Club series pick for 2019. So Raven Boys is our #1 pick for January, and I'm so excited that I'm finally gonna get to this because I've been obsessing over trying to get to this for so long that I'm so excited that it's gonna happen. It's like set to happen now, and I really love this. It's all about a story about a band of characters with the boys at the academy and Blue. Blue is, they refer to her almost as a battery, and she lives with psychics, and they have like this psychic business, and she doesn't have psychic powers, but she amplifies their psychic powers, so they bring her along to do her stuff, and she amplifies things for them so they can better do it, and she just amplifies like mystical things that happen around her, and it's really good. There's also a premise in here that the first, a kiss from her true love will kill her true love, so she can't kiss anybody, and it's just such an interesting twist. And then there's a whole other like underlying plot line of ley lines and finding the Welsh kings, and It's really cool, and I am so, like, I've already started listening to this for 2019, and I'm loving it, and I'm remembering how much I love it.
Mine is Lifelike by Jay Kristoff. I really like his style of writing. I really enjoyed Nevernight, Illuminae, all of those, so I figured I would enjoy this too. I was kind of bummed I didn't get to it. This one is a futuristic type novel based around a girl who finds an android named Ezekiel, and I honestly don't really remember what else happens, but I'm assuming he's rather lifelike. And the second one is actually coming out in a couple months, along with Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman's new series,
Aurora Cycle.
Yeah.
The Aurora Cycle.
And so I want to get all caught up on those books before I crack into those. So
that is all for our 2018 book awards. Thank you guys for watching. Let us know down below what the most disappointing book you didn't get to in 2018 is. And we will see you guys in our next video. Thank you for watching. Bye!